conference on migration next week is important for many reasons, but at least as far as I can see, there's this proposal for the gates, which is important to flesh out. And the context, there are two contexts which are important. One is the developments that have taken place in the UK and the US now, which in a way revolve around migration issues. And the global context, which is the adoption of the Sustainable Development Goal Agenda, Agenda 2030, which also has built in a requirement for a well-managed migration framework. So how do you see this event that is now coming up in terms of these frameworks?
Thank you, Ambassador, and we are very happy to have Ambassador Mukerji, who will be supporting us on this conference. In fact, he's doing a whole session there on SDGs. The purpose behind this conference, to put it very succinctly, is that we in industry, which is not usually done, but we want to make a business case for migration. I believe it's an important global agenda, as you just pointing out, whether for Europe or UK or USA, it's something which is right there. The whole development issue connects with it, because competitiveness in our view happens when you have mobility of not just goods and services, but actually of people also, human resource. So it is in this conference that FICCI does this migration work. And this is our second annual conference that we're doing. We have support from ILO, from IOM, from UN Women, from the World Bank, and of course the Government of India. And we are so happy to have experts like you who will join us, because this flags the importance of development, business, and the future of the world altogether.
And in specific terms for India, there is an interest in looking at the migration issue in terms of Indians who have migrated abroad. We have seen at least 2 or 3 categories of such migration. The largest number are in the Gulf countries, almost 7 million of them, who are working closely with the energy-driven economies of the Gulf. Then there are these highly qualified professionals who are contributing to the growth of industrialized countries and societies in Europe and United States and elsewhere. And then, of course, there's a third level of young migrants who are pursuing knowledge skills abroad, and who probably will be facing difficulties in coping with the new restrictions or the new regulations that may come up in those countries where they have gone to study and acquire.
Spot on. You're absolutely right, Excellency. That is why we say that there has to be a business case for migration, because all these 3 levels, whether it is young professionals, whether it is the workers that travel from India, whether it's the high-skilled migrants which have gone to many of these countries, for all of them, this mobility is an issue which we as a country in India need to flag. We need to tell people that it's important, there is a business rationale behind it, and so come. So the way we want to do it is that rather than just governments having to say it, business needs to say it. And it is in this context that we are announcing for the first time something called GATES. GATES is a initiative which will link business organizations around the world together to make the business case for migration.
No, I think that's very well put. And on that note, I think we really look forward to this meeting.
Thank you so much, and thank you for your assistance.
So, Natasha,